spot.
You got Sanchez comes to USC and it better be.
I honestly am leaving this place if it's not with these.
Of course it is.
They have to play Sanchez. They have to. It's the quarterback.
I mean, you can't move up to the number 5 pick and not take a quarterback.
Well, they've come from 17 to 5. It's going to cost them a lot, which you'll hear in a minute.
Well, the teams have to be working up at number 1 next year, bro. And I think you look at Sanchez, I put him at number 5 on the board. Here he is at 5 in terms of the pick. Obviously, you look at the Redskins, you look at Denver, you look at the Jets. All those teams have been rumored to maybe look.
All right, we're investigative reporters here. The jacket goes on, the phone is in there.
There's a smile.
What do you think?
Trojan in the house. Finally.
Listen to the Jet fans in here. They just sold 20,000 PSL. Wait for them.
It'll take the Jet fans about an hour to try to figure out why this isn't going to work, right? He's only played 16 games. He hasn't been tested. Is he really big and strong enough to take this franchise out of the program? So I think that the bottom line is you've got a kid now in the first pick of the draft that can make things happen and is ready to play for your team.
Well, last year they took a guy that played 800 games in a row. Now we're going to take someone who's played 16 games in a row.
It makes all the perfect sense in the world for them. They're looking for a quarterback. They need a quarterback. Here's a guy. You got Rex flying over there in defense. A young quarterback. They love their defense. They love their defense. A young quarterback. Hand the football off. Dink and dunk now and then. Play defense.
I think what you saw with Matt Ryan last year, we believe he was buttoned up, presidential, ready to go run a team. Well, he went way beyond our expectations there. What Joe Flacco was able to do. When you can protect a young quarterback who is buttoned up as Mark Sanchez is, he is presidential in the way that he brings himself and comports himself. He could also, with the protection of a good defense, he could thrive this year as a rookie. You can't say it's impossible anymore.
And you also got to throw one other guy in there from a couple years ago, Ben Roethlisberger. Good defense, led his team.
Right.
So you got the same situation with Mark here.
Yeah, the Jets are not a reclamation project by any step of the imagination.
And his personality fits great in New York. I'm telling you.
Yes.
Mark Sanchez, he'll take this city by storm and he'll be real poised at doing it.
Who's one of the most fiery coaches right now in the NFL? Rex Ryan. Who's one of the more fiery quarterbacks we've seen coming out in a lot? Mark Sanchez.
The more I think about it, settling in on
Look at it. Look.
perfect. Solid defense, young quarterback.
You think he's giving it away? You think he's giving it away right now? Not bad.
And I tell you, the Jet fans, they're crazy, but they're smart. They know this is a great pick.
Cleveland traded the 5th pick to the New York Jets. And with the 5th pick in the 2009 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Mark Sanchez, quarterback, USC. Some happy, some sad.
Broadway Mark Sanchez.
You don't see that guy's
Every
face,
Jet
though.
fan I'm looking at the Jet fans are smart. They're tough, but they're smart. They're cheering this pick, as Mel has said, because they know that in this league and in this division, you cannot win this division or this league without a quarterback.
And they're the only team in this division without a quarterback.
And Eric Mangini, again, like you said, so he's no longer the coach, but maybe, before I go,
I'll help you out.
enjoy myself here you go. Although some of the fans are crying over there, Keith, because, after all, they've seen some things in Jet fans. Sanchez, of course, here he is at the huge Rose Bowl, throwing in stride as USC just crushed Penn State. Accurate, he can throw deep balls, Steve.
But watch the subtleties of his shoulder movement. He's like Drew Brees. When you think of Mark Sanchez, think of Drew Brees and the subtleties of how he brings the quarterback position, he plays the quarterback position. He's dynamic. Then you see the quarterback draw. He does a lot of things very well, but he is crafty and he's full of guile. That's the kind of quarterback you want in New York.
And they don't have to change their system at all. They just plug him right in. They changed it a little bit for Brett Ratliff, gave him a little bit of a West Coast system. Now they can continue to expand on that remark.
I bet the NFL and Roger Goodell, you got to be happy. The Jets land Mark Sanchez. You had Joe Willie Namath. You had quarterback Chad Pennington, but you get a guy like this, like that Eli Manning, the impact he had when he came to the New York Giants. This kid with this defense, you're talking about Jenkins on the nose. You got linebackers galore. Golston will be your 5th guy coming at that outside line, 3rd outside backer. And you got Revis, one of the better cover corners in the league. All of a sudden now, the offense with Sanchez could equal what the defense will become.
Now, Mort, you tipped us off that this might happen, that the past Jet coach and the current Jet coach, etc., would
this football and watched him work out. Woody Johnson, the owner, fell in love with him. Remember, Woody wanted Brett Favre last year. He wanted Jay Cutler in a trade this year. Broncos didn't want to trade to the AFC. And I know that Brian Schottenheimer, their offensive coordinator, who wants to run the football a lot as well as throw it, they are absolutely thrilled. The fact that they could get him here 5 as opposed to risking the 8, quite a coup for them and Woody Johnson, the owner.
Well, here's the deal, okay? And we'll put this up so you can read it here in a minute, folks. But we don't have it yet, but I have it, so I'm going to read it. Obviously, they moved down to Cleveland to take the Jets spot at 17. They get a number 2 pick in this year's draft. They get quarterback. Here it is. So for the opportunity to pick Mark Sanchez, the Browns received the Jets 1, the Jets 2, Kenyon Coleman, defensive end, Brett Ratliff, the young quarterback that was theoretically going to compete against Callum Clements, and then Abram Elam, who made some big plays last year for Coach Mancini, a defensive back. Very interesting.
What do you always see, Bill, when your coach leaves to go somewhere else, he brings his own players with him, at least some of them. You see new coaches kick them to the curb. That's what happened here. You get Rex Ryan coming in and say, okay, Eric Mancini, you can have some of your old players in this trade. Fine, you'll get them. Give you Ratliff, we'll give you Elam, we'll give you Coleman. We'll also get some draft picks so that number 1 next year didn't have to come into play. With other teams, they went for number 1 next year. This case with Mancini, he wanted some of those present Jets in Cleveland so that made the deal less, I think, basically less is more. So they gave up the second pick, but not the one next year.
Very difficult to move from down in that range into the top 5. It was done. We'll be back.
Hi, it's Vince with ShamWow. You'll be saying,